Well, welcome back, my friends, to another rousing rendition. And it's my favorite day of the week rendition. It's Work Tough Gear Wednesday. We have the Lamigo. I am super duper fired up. Listen, before I forget, guys, I'm going to give you the specs, the weight, and all of that. What I wanted to do with this video, we do all kind of stuff. We do some stabbing, okay? We do a little slicing, we do some batoning, we do some chopping, we do some cutting, we do some of everything. And my goal with this video is to show you the damn versatility of this knife. It well may be Work Tough Gear's most versatile knife. Now that's a hell of a statement, but I want you to hear what I'm saying here. I'm not calling it a one-tool option. I'm not saying it's its most choppiest or sharpiest or any of that. Certainly not its biggest or wild design. But I believe it's one of its most versatile, if not its most versatile knife they have. We're going to cover the reasons why. I want to give you the specs and stuff first. This thing was designed, I believe, by Vic Lynn. Huge fan of Vic's designs. They are very functional. They're bare bones. They work. I adore them. Everything he does. The Lamigo is no different. Now, this was not sent to me by Work Tough Gear for review. A young man that works with me, Alex, bought this off their website, and he was excited from the time he got it. He brought it in. He said, "Man, do you want to do a review on it?" I said, "Bro, I'd love to. I would love to." I have to be coming up close to 200 reviews now on Work Tough Gear. Probably handled 40 or 50 knives, and from the time he showed me this knife, I loved it. Now, I want to talk to y'all a little bit about a couple things. A lot of times I say it's not a review, it's a demonstration, etc., etc. Here's the deal, guys. We're not testing the knife, and hear me out here. I've done close to 200 reviews, just said that. Handled well over 40, maybe 50 knives from Work Tough Gear, somewhere in there, 30 to 40, somewhere. It's insane. The thing is this, guys. I've done enough that Work Tough Gear is the one company that I am very, very comfortable in making blanket statements on. Why? Because they are very consistent with their quality. They're consistent with their fit and finish. They're consistent with their sharpness. They're consistent with their customer service. But I want to talk about the versatility of the knife and what makes a knife versatile. And I want to tell you why I think the Lamigo hits all the boxes, checks all the marks, etc., etc. When you first look at it, it's a drop point. And I think a lot of times in our minds, especially in the knife community today, we may want to call it a survival knife, or we might want to call it a combat utility knife, or we might want to make up these other terms. When I see this knife, here's what I see. I see a very versatile cutting tool that's a camp knife, companion knife, belt knife, right? Never been in the military. I have been stabbed and returned a favor, but I've never been in a knife fight, so I wouldn't know about that. We're not going to approach it from that. Why do I think this knife's versatile? We're going to cover that right after this. Guys, this is the Lamigo. It is in SK85. The Rockwell is between 56 and 58. The blade thickness is 0.196 inches. The overall length is 11.8 inches. The blade length is 6.3 inches. The cutting edge is 5.9 inches. The handle length is 5 3/8 inches overall from the top of the handle scales to the bottom. They're G10 handle scales. Mr. Vic does an amazing job with the G10. The inner grip is 4 1/4. Most hands on this planet will be able to use it. The weight is like 14.2 ounces. It's got some heft to it, but it's not heavy. I will say this. What makes the knife versatile? Well, I think handle ergonomics is a big part of it. I think blade length is a part of it. I think the width of the blade is a part of it. I'll be honest with you. I think having a 90-degree spine. Why? Well, that opens up. You can do duff. You can make some duff with it. You can strike a ferro rod with it. You can scrape excess meat with it. So it gives you that added element. You can start fire with it, and that's big. This knife has two choils. And one, you see right there on the blade, um, fits my finger very, very comfortably. Now you see where my thumb is there. If you wind it back just a second, see where my thumb is? That's almost like a second choil. So if you want to choke up, you can. It has a slight ramp on the back of the knife with some nice jimping. It looks aggressive. It is not. It has that hidden lanyard hole in the bottom of the handle. I really like that. It's very, very clean. It's hidden. It covers the G10 handle scales cover it well. The G10 is masterfully done. Very, very, very few knife makers on this planet do the handle as well or the edge as well as Mr. Vic does. And I'm talking about production run here. Throughout this video, I wanted to show you a little bit of everything. And I think we do a really good job of that. We started with some stabbing, right? Did a little chopping. Normally in these videos, I'll take off and try to blast through a 4x4 or a 2x4, and we chop on one later in the video, but we're cleaning up the yard. That particular little tree was laying over there, and I thought, you know what? This is a good time. Here's what I equated that to. If I was in a situation where I had to build camp, if I had to make some kind of shelter, that would be kind of a tree, a plant I would use, right? So we cut enough industrial type materials around the shop to give you an idea of the sharpness. If you hadn't figured out yet this thing's sharp as shit, you should. But I thought that little tree that had already been pulled up would be an amazing thing to just do some quick chops on. I was out of position and it chopped it very well. This thing hits above its weight. It's got a blade length of 6.3 inches, right? A cutting edge of 5.9. That's a belt knife. It's not a chopper, but it hits above its weight. Now, I did want to talk about this little particular thing we're doing here. When I use this dead man hose, it's just rubber hose. What I'm doing here, when we put the tip in and we push all the way down, I am not penetrating the back side of that hose. I want to use this to kind of show you the maneuverability of the knife and the control of the knife. This is a knife I would use over and over and over again. And I am forever thankful for Alex for letting me borrow it. Now, it's a drop point. It's got a saber grind with a convex cutting edge. It's got all the little amenities I like. I'm typically not a coated blade fan, but the way WTG does it slick coat, they do not coat the spine, so therefore you've got that sharpness. But it's an easy to clean surface, and it has held up very, very well. Not just this knife, but some other knives from Work Tough Gear that I've got in this coating. And the other thing is this. Typically, we do not make blanket statements on knife companies. I just don't do it. I don't talk about other knives. I don't talk about other brands when I'm focusing on a knife. But Work Tough Gear might be the one company that I will make some blanket statements on. Guys, I've got almost 200 damn review videos on it. I know I've been able to put my hands on the minimum of 30 to 40 of their knives, right? So I feel like I can say with confidence, I know what I'm talking about when it comes to Work Tough Gear. I'm not trying to sell you shit. Y'all know I'm not. I just want to show you the knife work, share my passion with you. Scoring the sandblast hose there. I wanted to bring this up. For versatility, you've got to be able to cut all kind of different materials. Chopping, to me, is almost like with a camp knife, is almost a prerequisite. Not knock down a Reddo. It's not what I'm talking about. But if you need to get some light to medium-sized stuff to build a shelter. Now, right here, I did some slap chops, okay? What do I mean by that? I choked down on the handle. Matter of fact, I dropped my pinky off the bottom and kept my ring finger on the pommel. So I'm able to get some slap. I wanted to see the control of the knife. It did an amazing job of landing where I wanted it to. It dug in deep. Now that is a pressure treated pine. So pine's a little softer, right? But we're going through knots. We're going through different things. Plus it's pressure treated. The other thing I just wanted to see right here, see that was a flat slap. I wanted to see if we get any chipping, any rolling, anything like that with some light to medium use. I'll be the first to tell you, this isn't me swinging for the downs. I'm not trying to. I'm just trying to get some good chops in there. And I'm going to show you the edge right here and show you what it's been. Well, I thought it was. Here we're going to make a punji stick. At the end, I'll show you the edge. The other thing I was going to do at the very end, guys, this knife is comparable in size to the Wolverine. So for those of you not familiar with a Lamigo, but you have a Wolverine, it's comparable to that size. And I think that size in and of itself lends itself to it being a versatile knife. I think when you've got that 6-inch blade with almost a 6-inch cutting edge, you really open up the possibilities. You know, you might not use this in a 5-star Michelin restaurant, but for a campsite barbecue, it would come in phenomenal. It has a nice polished edge. It came razor sharp. The things that you expect from Work Tuff gear. Now, I'm making a punji stick here. Y'all know how much I enjoy that. Just to demonstrate a little bit of the different grips and just show you the sliciness of the damn knife. It is insane. Guys, before it gets away from me, listen, there was a time in this country where 22 vets a day took their own lives. The real number is between 15 and 29, which is still just unbelievable. That's why here on this channel, we focus on the number 0. Anything over 0 is simply unacceptable. And all that means, vets, is we love you. Man, you have a place here. Guys, personally, I back the blue. My son's a cop. And I backed the blue before that. It's just something I believe in. Not arguing with anybody on it. There's no need. We go through it all the time. I have my reasons, and I'll leave it there. But I don't shove it down anybody's throat or judge anybody who feels differently. I understand not everybody feels the way. That's the beauty of the good old US of A. Finally, if you are an addict, never quit quitting. Just keep blasting away. And that's what we're going to do here. But what I'm going to do right here, guys, because Alex is letting me review this knife, you see the size of that damn pine knot. Now, I drive the knife into the knot, but I did not feel like just laying down on it. Had this been a knife sent to me for review, I would have more than happily done it. I have all faith after all the reviews I've done that it would do it. But this is a young man's knife. You know, here's the thing. The guy works hard. He puts up his money, and he was good enough to let me use it for a review. I'm going to be respectful of the blade. I do 1,000,000% believe it would have made it through, because every other Work Tuff gear knife I've ever used has done that, right? But here, even with the batoning, so if you go across the board, the batoning, the chopping, the slap chopping, the stabbing, there's no hot spots. There's no slippage in the handle. I don't get there's no vibration. There's really not. People have asked in batoning. They do such an amazing job, not only with the G10, but with the handle ergos of this knife. It's amazing. If you really want to check this knife out, because I do believe they have some on their website, you really should. It is a highly versatile knife that you can do damn near anything with. I show you the industrial stuff just so you can translate it over to what you do, whether it's bushcraft, camping, etc. The knife held up insane. I'll tell you how much I like this knife. I'm going to get me one. That's how much I enjoy this knife. This is a knife I would absolutely carry daily. Now, here's a good look at the Wolverine compared to the Lamigo. You see right there, very, very similar. Similar in handle size, similar in blades length, not size, but length. Pretty close in weight. You see the handle ergos there. I'm just a monster fan of the Lamigo. Like I said, I believe they're on the website. Check them out. Alex, again, dude, thank you so much. I'm going to sharpen this bitch back up, clean it up, bring it to you, and hope nobody ever forgets this. I'm Scab. You're not. And I'm gone, son. Love y'all.